Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Holy Plot. This is Liam, Jacob, and James. You know it by now. You love it. Come on. We're talking about FNAF, the FNAF movie. Whoever thought in a billion years that I would say that? This movie has been in development hell for like 10 years. It's real. The One Piece is real. We've seen it. I ordered the Insomnia Cookies FNAF pizza cookie. I'm a grown man. I had someone walk over to my house and deliver it. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. I was on the phone with my best friend, Max, who you may or may not hear from on this channel at some point.
You will at some point.
You probably will at some point. He has been a FNAF fan since its inception, so however many years that has been. And I'm a decent enough fan of FNAF considering I'm a 22-year-old grown man. But I can honestly, dude, I can kick down with some Five Nights at Freddy's every now and again. I have played all the games except for like some of the really new ones. I haven't done like Security Breach. I don't own a VR headset because I don't have $1 billion, and I have not played Sister Location, but I played all the classic ones. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got my co-hosts here who are about as casual as you can get.
Yeah, we have...
Absolutely.
The only, like, FNAF exposure I have is, like, YouTubers playing it back in the day when I was an iPad kid.
I don't even have that. I have, like, passing knowledge that I picked up on...
Yeah.
Like, the killer of who, like, killed the kids.
Yeah, the only thing I knew about FNAF was all the fans go, yeah, it is a little dumb, but the lore goes crazy.
Yeah. The lore does go crazy. That's the thing. It's super dumb. And it's gotten worse. It has. I'll be the first to admit that pretty much after the fourth game, and I'm sure there are FNAF fans in chat who are going to throw spears at me for this one, but it really starts to get kind of stupid pretty fast after the first couple games. Now, I haven't played the newer games, so I can't speak on like a gameplay perspective, but I've kept up with the lore, dude.
But this was not...
Don't think I'm like uneducated.
This was not a direct adaptation of any particular game. It was kind of like the Mario movie, right? Where it was like a...
Combining elements from different games
a
little bit.
It took characters and names and locations from the series and kind of like mashed it together. So you're exactly right. This is not a movie adaptation of FNAF 1, for example. And what this movie does is it sort of tones down some of the more outlandish parts of the lore. So in like the deep FNAF lore, there's like soul magic and robots specifically designed to like house children, and it gets really like sci-fi. There's like huge underground research facilities and shit.
Man. Whoa.
Nah, dude, it goes crazy. This really brings it back to basics where there's a pizzeria, there's a dude killing kids and stuffing them in suits, and the kids possess the animatronics, and it's much better that way, in my opinion.
Okay.
So to talk about the actual movie finally, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
We came out of this, and the way I described it was, it's one of those movies where the best it could be was a 6 out of 10. But it actually makes it to that 6. So it kind of goes all the way there. And I'm going to designate this movie the channel honor of Aquaman tier.
It's the Aquaman of the year, potentially.
It is...
Only our real fans know about that meme.
Essentially, it is.
They will know
It has the tone and integrity of Aquaman, where it's really not that good,
but it's so fun.
But it's made with enough care, and is enjoyable enough to where I don't actually think it's bad. It's just...
Yeah, I had a great time with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're... I'm not trying to be annoying, but if you're going into the FNAF movie and expecting it to, like...
I want it to be as good as Get Out.
Yeah, I want it to be, like, the horror blockbuster of the year, which, honestly, it's probably going to be.
It's so funny.
It sure as shit isn't Exorcist Believer.
Yeah.
No, that shit sucks. That shit sucks.
I think...
don't get me started.
This movie is, like, the definition of a fun dumb, but actually good movie.
Here's the thing for me. I just thought the fun and the passion that the crew brought in that they were having with this movie, I thought it was infectious. It's one of those movies where, unless something comes out to indicate otherwise, it felt like a lot of people that wanted to bring something to this pretty large fan base and just have a great time in the theater.
Well, I mean, it went through development hell for so long. You have to think at one point they were like, unless we do this in a way that's going to be fun and enjoyable, what's the point? It's been so long since this franchise was at its peak.
I think there's a quote, it was either from Scott Cawthon, the creator, or somebody talking about Scott, that he really wanted to make this movie, rather than trying to bring in a brand new audience on top of the fan base, that his directive was, make this the best possible movie for the fans and please that circle that already exists.
So he was directly involved.
That I think...
Yeah.
He was directly...
That I think is exactly what he did. I first of all, going back to what Jacob said, I half resent that the best this movie could have been was a 6, because I totally get the mission statement of this movie, that it's sort of like how the game series has become. It is an entry-level way geared towards younger fans to sort of get into horror. FNAF is a good way for people to get into horror games. I know it's a lot of people our age, it's how they got into horror gaming, because they were 12 or whatever. I have honestly no concept of time as to when it came out. And the movie's doing the same way. It's a PG-13. It's just scary enough for, tweens and younger to get a jump out of it.
Did you find the scaring satisfying?
I did not. Obviously, I did not find it scary at all. It was fucking hilarious. However, you did?
No, not at all.
No, it was just fun.
We were laughing the entire time.
Yeah. But I was satisfied. There is, if you're a fan of the series, a longtime fan of the series like I am, there is stuff here for you. Mm-hmm. Matthew Lillard as Springtrap, William Afton, awesome, dude. That was sick. That last scene was sick. So I know for a genuine fact that you can make really compelling, legitimately scary content from Five Nights at Freddy's. I know you can do that because it exists, and this is when I'm gonna plug some niche stuff. It's not super niche. It's niche for the general audience. If this piqued your interest at all, and you want some really, really good, legitimately scary, out-of-game FNAF content, there is a series on YouTube that you've probably seen in memes. It's an analog horror series about Five Nights at Freddy's by a guy named Squimpus McGimpus. I promise this is real. The harder you lean into the scariness of how almost mundane it is, because the minute that you start to go all crazy with soul magic and sci-fi killbots and yada yada yada, yeah, you're laughing at it even with me just mentioning it, because it's
jumping the
kind of
shark.
stupid.
It's like the SCP rabbit hole.
It is totally jumping the shark. What I think they should do for the sequel, and maybe we can end on this with looking to the future, is I want them to really utilize Matthew Lillard's William Afton Springtrap, because he was, I think, across the board, people are saying online that they wanted more of him, and he was the highlight of this.
Yeah, he was
incredible.
He was kind of only at the end, which was fine. I didn't want to immediately jump to him.
I could go for more though, because he was fun when he was on screen. He brought it. It's fun.
Now that the cat is out of the bag, because Springtrap is undeniably the best and sort of scariest part of FNAF, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions. My final point is, I'm gonna give this a 6. There's stuff here, if you're a fan of the series, especially if you're a fan of the culture around it. Matt Pat showed up. We had the living tombstone in the credits.
That was so funny. I laughed at that.
It's cute. If you are a fan of the series, you're going to get something out of it. It's probably as good as a big corporate FNAF movie is going to be, like Jacob was saying. For the sequel, wishful thinking, I want them to lean into that classic FNAF atmosphere that even the games have lost touch with. Give us actual dead body in a bunny suit Springtrap now that we have his origin story in this movie. Yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was gonna be worse than it was.
Same.
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
You guys?
Yeah, I think we're all at a 6.
Positive 6. It's like this movie could have phoned it in. I didn't feel like it did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a solid 6. It was not a weak 6.
Yeah, Aquaman tier.
Aquaman tier for
that's
sure.
a badge of honor.
Yeah, we'll see at the
Aquaman tier,
Thinkies if it keeps that level.
Oh yeah.
The Thinker's Choice Award. Stay tuned, dear viewer. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching. This has been Holy Plot. You have officially survived 5 nights at Liam's. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Watch it again. Watch it 5 times. That'll actually be 5 nights. Watch it 5 times. Can you survive it? Will you get bored? Will you turn it off? That means you lose, coward. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.